Good day. This is the first time I took video of my entire wheel practice, and I tried to squeeze everything and edit the video in just 12 minutes. It has been a while since my last video from my Japan training, and here's one of my wheel throwing practices during ECQ here in Metro Manila. I've been busy fixing my small space for pottery stuff and doing my best to maximize my time to get the materials that I need. I don't have the kiln yet, but I'm starting to make more pieces as I can and preparing for my first firing, and hopefully this would be very soon. This is how I prepare my clay. I still have my old clay when I leave for Japan. It aged well and very manageable to use, and it's been sitting in my bucket for about 2 years. As you can see, I spiral-wedge the clay and mix it with Thai clay and UP clay. This is about 70-30 ratio, and this is to remove the air pockets and to mix the clay very well. So for now, this is the clay that I use for my pots. Hopefully in the future I can find time to process my own clay. When mixing two clay bodies, it is easier for me to use the spiral wedging technique, most especially if it's a large amount of clay. It is easier as well to check the hardness or softness of the clay. And in wheel throwing, in a scale of 1 to 10, as 10 as the hardest, the clay hardness should be around 6 to 7, depends on the size of the pieces that you are making. I also use plyboard table to absorb excess water from the clay. During my Kanayama training, we use pug mill to remove the air pockets, and it is very efficient in clay preparation. This is also to save time and energy. To check the air pockets, after I mix the two clay bodies, I cut them into several layers to check if there's any in between, and I slam it back together for final wedging. Before I proceed throwing, I form the clay into elongated ball-like so it won't have a flat surface. In this way, it is easier to throw and stick to the wheelhead and to prevent air in between wheelhead and the clay. The wheel I'm using is Shimpo Aspire Tabletop. I got it from US back in 2018 when I had a vacation. This is actually powerful for a small machine, and it does the job that I need for now. Maybe in the future I might invest in a bigger machine. I might be getting a Shimpo Whisper. In this video, I use the off the hump technique, and this is usually I do during practice and to make pots. I only spend for about an hour for practice with 2.5 kilograms of clay, which can make 5 to 7 cups for about 350 grams each. There are only few pottery tools I use for throwing. I have the wooden rib. This is to straighten the wall. I need a pin tool to remove excess or uneven lip. I use a sponge for removing excess water, a chamois leather to smoothen the lip, and knife to cut it out from the hump. Once you throw the clay to the wheel, You need to tap it towards the wheel head to make sure it's stick on it. I only use right amount of water to lubricate my hands and clay to flow smoothly, and eventually I use the excess slip. First, you have to center the clay before you can make any pots, and this takes practice to achieve. Once centered, it is followed by opening the clay, lifting, and forming. I can say that I'm still a bit new in the pottery community, but with my 2-year training in Japan, helped enhance my techniques. I only started back in 2017, and in a very short period of time, I am very much grateful that pottery gave a lot of opportunities to me for being an artist and a craftsman. During practice, I don't usually spend much on the wheel. The most would be about 2 hours. And as for my preference, I want to have a break once in a while so I won't feel saturated. I easily get bored, so I want to do other pottery stuff in between. As you can see, off the hump is a process where you use the top of the clay to form a piece and then proceed to make other pieces until you use up all the clay. When finishing a piece, I always make sure to remove excess water at the bottom. This could prevent cracks during drying process. I repeat this process again and again, from centering, opening, lifting, and forming, until I consume all the clay. Once I finish throwing, I put it inside humidity room. I keep for about 80 to 90% humidity so it won't dry fast. This is important if I have other things to do the following day or if I cannot trim it right away. This slows down the drying process in preparation for trimming. I use the humidity room also when I attach a newly made piece to an old leather hard clay body like cup handles. This also equalizes the moisture state of both clay bodies to prevent cracks. This is all for now. Thank you for staying until the last part of this video. I will do my best to upload trimming videos and other pottery related stuff very soon.